Shine Sprite. So let's do it. All right, so we've got a couple options to start with here. I'm going to go with the simplest, which is just to take a bunch of objects, smack them together, re-topologize, and then go. And we'll see how that goes for us. So, I'm going to try, like, super bare bones here. I'm going to go with a cylinder to start with, which is probably the worst idea I could have done. I'm going to have 8 sides on it. We're going to have 8 little spikes. So, each of those spikes is going to need at least 3 points of contact. So let's say 8 times 3 is 24, right? So let's go with 24 divisions here. And we'll use the height as the thickness of the shine sprite. So that's going to get taken down to about yay big. And I think we'll make the radius a little shy of that. Get a couple divisions of the caps in here because I would like the beginnings of something to go on. Yeah, that's fine. Then I will take... No, those will help us get some roundness on the front of the object here. Cool. Alright, let's make some tips. Now these tips are fairly rounded, so we'll need to introduce some geometry to help us with that. And we're just gonna extrude the vertex for that, but first I want to line this up. And a little narrower. And let's do the vertex now, actually. All right, so move that here. Grab the vertex here. Okay, that's not bad. It's not quite where I want it yet. And we're probably gonna need another one in here. So let's use this as the initial one, right? Want a fairly wide tip, which weird thing to say, but whatever. Okay. How are we feeling about that? Seems like a reasonable start. All right, I'll tell you what, let's use a mesh network for an interesting purpose here. I like to use it for a lot of things, but here I'm thinking that we could be well served to get a visualization of what the 8 surrounding it will look like. So I'm going to put it into a mesh network just to get a feel. To do that, I'm going to group it, go to mesh, create network. I don't like what that did. Oh, good, okay. I want radial, and we just want to change it to YX. We want 8 instead, and the radius is going to be about yay big. So we'll bring this in here. In fact, we'll snap it to the center of the grid, and both directions. Make it a little bit wider to support what we have now. We can always change that later. Okay, that'll need to be wider still, about like that. Yeah. Go back to our mesh network, head to the distribution node, and change the radius a little lower. Yeah, all right. Making some progress. So, just to get a feel for it, I'm going to grab a couple edge loops. Namely this one. And I'm just going to extrude it out from the center to really beef up the edges here. Because they're not hard, but they're definitely distinct, right? I think that'll do it pretty well. All right, I'm going to add in some supporting geometry on the edges here as well. Just delete that one. Okay. Now that's too sharp now. That's why we do these tests, you know? Okay, so we'll do a little more on that one, and then we'll take both of these in a little bit like that. Yeah, that's feeling better. Now, in general, these need to be extruded out like that. And then the whole thing can come back in, but it is basically a coin after all. So something like that's going to work out pretty well for us. And then I do want to add in a little bit more geometry, like halfway in between on each side, just to reinforce the change in planes from one to the next. And to accommodate that here, we're going to do the same thing like that. A bit like that, yeah. Everything is looking pretty hunky-dory. Like that, more like that. Okay. Oh, we can always do that symmetrically next time, but I'm just trying to cruise through this right now. All right, so for this one, it's the beginning edge of the dip. So I'm gonna have it fairly close to that division line. And we'll have a second one, which is gonna get put in. Just realized I want symmetry Z-axis. Nope, X. There we go. Is it Z? Or have I already broken the axis, the symmetry? Nope, nope, nope. It's definitely the x-axis. Oh. It must be in relation to the object's original thing. So let's delete the history on this guy and modify Freeze's transformations. And now let's see what symmetry looks like to us. It should be the x-axis that makes the most sense now. Yeah, good. Okay. So now we can work without fear of messing up both sides. I'll almost certainly have to add in some more divisions here in a hot second. That's probably going to be fairly deep. Actually, that's pretty good. Let's get started. We definitely need more divisions though, so let's cut in a couple more rings here. Okay, now that gave us the reinforcement to make the front side a little bit more differentiated, which is fantastic. All right, and then I think I want to cut in about here and there-ish. We can adjust that. Okay, so now we're going to take the center vertex on both sides, soft select it all the way out to about here. Let's see what that looks like. No, I want more selection. Something more akin to that. I do want the fall off still, and I just want the surface. I wish I could change the type of connection, or like of the tangents here, but let's give that a shot. Okay, we're getting some weird stuff going on, so I think there's a way to do this, right? Let's take this guy and move it further out, like that. No. Okay. Okay. If you happen to know how to get this to like a different curve, please let me know. I'm going to try the other spot here. Grab this. Aha! Never mind. We are good to go. I want linear on either end. So like this one I want to be linear. And I want this to be maybe a spline. That's pretty close. That's pretty close. Now when we smooth it, all I have to do is take this and bring it in a bit, like that. Yeah. Okay, now the body is way too big. So now that we have a mesh network and we can just work with this guy, all I gotta do is bring those spikes up till it looks about right. It's a very spiky shine sprite at this point, but we'll make it a little less sketchy. And then we'll add in some geometry at some point here to help that out. That seems about right. We are hitting into there now, so let's pull the cone out a bit. Oh, well, that's a big part of why we weren't seeing what we were expecting. I think I just have the radius too tight then, if we're running into that sort of issue. Yep. That's because we didn't shrink the interior afterwards. I understand now. Okay. So they should go to about there. Oh, I see. Okay. Well. So I want them about that long. But it is relative to the size. Let's go with that. Let's just see what that looks like. They should be more squat. I'm not quite sure what I'm thinking here. They just seem like so much more of the body than what I have going on here. Maybe that's because the whole thing needs to be increased at once. And maybe the body just needs to be, like, thicker or something. Okay. That seems like more proportionate. More or less. That's much more Shine Sprite-like. Still a little on the big side for me. A little tall, maybe. I think that's what it's supposed to look like. Okay. So let's attach those. Get rid of our grid here. Let's give everything a nice yellow shader. Go to Tune, just for the heck of it. And we'll get a sky dome, just for something simple. I'm going to save, because I've had a lot of times where I've put in a sky dome and then tried to put it on a reference layer and it's just crashed. And I'm pretty sure it's because I had Arnold running at the same time. But never take a chance on something that you've had crash on you many, many times. That's my thinking anyway. So the edge color, we're not going to worry about edges too much right now since we don't have the contour filter turned on. Instead, we'll work on the base and the specular. We'll see if we can get that working. And the color should be highly saturated to start with. And then hopefully with the specular, we can get some tone mappage going on. Yeah, we're gonna just do a ramp on that one. Do 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 do. And it's a smooth one here, so we'll leave it at linear. But I want to knock that down. And we'll get that closer to there. Okay, so we're definitely fighting with the shader a little bit here. Really? What? Wait, no, don't just close it. When does it change over? How low of a value does it have to be? My God. Okay, that's real strange. Let's go there and see if the tone map changes or something. I don't get it. Like, for whatever reason. Maybe I don't understand how the specular tone map works right now, so that's fantastic. Okay, well, let's just never talk about that again. Okay, so we're going to put that weight down to 0. I will look up how to do that, and we'll come up next time I stream with something that works better for that. In the meantime, let's just connect this up to the... let's just show all the attributes here. So I'm interested in the base tone map. That should be up here somewhere. Base tone map. Here we go. And we'll just delete this connection. Okay. So hopefully this one will make more sense. We're not off to a great start. Okay. Oh, God. Some weird stuff going on. Yeah, what do you gotta do? Okay. Something's not right here. I don't really get it. A tone map is supposed to... Oh. Duh. Okay. So we're going to lower the exposure down quite a bit till we get some shadows. And then I'm also going to create a directional light so we can get some more information going on here. Bump up the sampling and then the exposure. Probably 10? Higher? Lower? Doesn't seem to making no appreciable difference I can see. So maybe less of this guy? Aha. Okay, there's a fine line at around 2.75 where it just transitions directly to the directional light. All right. What? What? What is happening here? I don't understand. Let's hide the sky dome entirely. Is Maya about to crash? Maya crashed. Oh, don't turn on mud. I'll be right back. I'm still not sure what's happening, but I will bring us back over. Before we turn on Maya, I'm going to hide the sky dome just to see what's going on. Just utter insanity. All right. All right, so we should be good to go now. I'm gonna save. We'll click play. There's no lights. I'm gonna turn on a directional light. Good. And then we'll just sort of meander something like that. I'm gonna stop Arnold. I'm gonna turn the sky dome back on, but the exposure way down to like 2. All right, even lower. And lower still, like all the way down. Okay, so now we can see the whole object, but we've got pretty good shading. All right. So the sky dome, or the directional light I am going to put on a little more Arnold samples and a bunch more exposure, but I want to see what that's doing first. That's pretty good. Cool. Okay, so I'm gonna make this a little touch smaller. I don't know why I put away the hyper shader. We're gonna need that. Put this down here. So we're gonna go back into our AI tune and try another ramp sequence here. Should be fine. The tone map controls like the saturation of the color that you chose as the base color. Ramp. So it can supply like a multiplying color effect on top of whatever you have, but for the most part, it's meant to change the base color. That's my understanding of it anyway. So we'll do that. All right, so that brightens it up a little bit. Let's bring some of this up. We want this to be fairly bright in general. Kind of like that. That intensifies it. So let's get something close to that. Yes, yes. Very good, very good. All right, that was for the base. Apparently we never changed the base's color. Okay. So one thing I kind of want to do is on the tone map, introduce a yellow tinge to it. Just so we keep that yellow all the way through. Like I said, this is sort of a multiply effect instead of just a straight value situation. There we go. That's better. Okay. So we've got our shine sprite. I'm gonna save. See what happens here. Oh, that's right. I want to try the specular part of it now that it's sort of working. So with this guy, I want it to be bright white, but also more golden. Kind of like that. And we're going to give it quite a bit of weight. And yet we don't have enough light to do any silhouettes. Is that the problem? Let's go to like 10. No. Okay. That's weird. Okay. Get back to this then. Color, roughness. Oh! Oh, the roughness seems to have done something. Ah, there we go. Hey! It's so much more Shine Sprite like right there. I think we're just gonna leave that just like that, actually. Yeah. Yeah, I like that. Cool. The shadows are kind of dramatic and a bit too dynamic right now, so when we do our final pass on rendering, we may choose to lessen that. Do we still have symmetry on? No, I took it off. Yeah. So now I just want to take this, just take that down a touch. I want some shadows, but I don't want like, I don't want it to reach like the peak darkness. I just want that indication of just a little something going on. And to help that along, I'm going to pull that forward some more. I missed the beginning. How dare you? No, it's fine. It's fine. How are we doing this? Thanks for coming out. That's what's really important. How's it going today? I think we're doing all right for ourselves here. Okay. I think we're just gonna kind of cheat it a little bit on the little ball section as well. So I'm gonna take these down to like 8 sections each. I really don't think we need too much more than that. Maybe 12, maybe 10. 12 here. Yeah, that's a little bit better. All right, so then this needs to be just on top of the shine sprite. Oh no, it actually does kind of go to that point. It is smaller. It's just like an extension of it right there. A little bigger. All right, we're gonna stop Arnold. And we're gonna put this on its own layer. We're gonna save first. Arnold is so picky about this. I swear. All right, we'll start Arnold back up. Okay, we're good to go. The roofers still aren't done. Oh God, looks like a ship wheel. It certainly does. I'm all paranoid now. I had one ant on a tablet. I'm like, oh God, are the ants back? So I'm just gonna do a quick perimeter check. Lake check. So that's the next thing I need to model is just an ant. It's like my co-pilot. Cool. I think that is probably good. We'll add the same shader to it. And then I think we're just gonna start making a mesh network. So let's do the usual treatment to it. Center it on the grid here. Delete the history. Freeze transformations. All right. And then group it. That'll help us position things later. Create a mesh. That didn't look good. Got it. Cancel. I was wondering, like, what's going on here? You didn't know what was the thing? A radial mesh network? Yeah, it's very handy. Now we need 3. Tell you what, let's turn this mesh off to hopefully help this other one out. And then I guess we'll turn off symmetry as well. Yeah, symmetry was what was doing it. Oh, what? Set the same color? Oh, yeah, definitely. Yeah, so if you select an object like this guy, I'm having some weird issues right now. Oh, God, Maya, what are you doing? What is happening today? Oh my God. What? What? Okay. Maya is really upset with me. I don't know what I did. Can I save? I can save. Okay, I'm just gonna open this up again. And hope and pray that everything works out. It's not, so the problem is that I'm trying to select things and it's just not updating with any rapidity at all. All right. I don't know if that's because I had Arnold on. I don't know what, but yeah. So if you have an object selected and you right click and hold, you can go to assign existing material and then select the existing material. It's very handy. All right, so we're gonna do that. All right, so let's turn back on the other mesh network. And we'll head back to here. Radius should be much closer, something close to that. Angle ought to only be negative 120, negative 130, negative 136. That's the one. Okay. We'll push those guys out a little bit, and then we'll Z offset. No, we won't. Okay, we're going to add a transform node because I just want to rotate it. You know, connect a locator thingy. Yeah, hold down that. Hold down J to snap to 15-degree intervals, and more or less, we're good to go there. I'm not quite sure what the difference is on this guy, but I guess it's working out pretty okay. Just gonna make these a little squatter. Yeah, that feels better. Okay. So the radius. I really wish I could do like a finer control on this, but that's fine. All right, we're gonna save that. Arnold, take a render, see what that looks like. Okay, we are getting there. It's very nearly kind of done. I guess just need to put some eyes on at this point, right? I'm looking at the reference. By the way, if you're wondering what I'm making, the bottom right has the shine sprite. We're making the shine sprite. Oh, you're right. It does need to be a little bit more orange. Yeah, let's just do that in the attribute editor. Oh, that's the edge color. Whoopsie. Yeah. And then we'll make the highlights quite a bit more yellow. Like that. That seems about right. Good call. Good call on the orange. All right. Heck yeah. I am very confused. System sound output, virtual cable. Let's turn that down a little bit. Okay, so let's do some eyes, which I assume we're just going to use spheres because I think being lazy is the way to go here. And then we'll just stretch them right out. So essentially, I want this to become much more narrow. And then we're just going to assign a new toon shader to it. And we're going to make that have a black base with some specular highlights. And then we'll just put the color down to black. But we'll make that much rougher. Oh, interesting. I don't want it reflective. I just want the highlights. Okay, so if we want something closer to that. Yep, yep, yep. That's pretty good. That's pretty good. And we'll just shove that into the body. Okay. Duplicate. Now these are both a little on the big side, so we'll just do that. So we're not quite there. The shader's not quite done. What's the hard way of making the eyes? Well, I mean, I don't know. You could build it into the mesh and like extrude it out and make it all one continuous mesh. And that would be fine. I might even do that off camera. We'll see, but we'll see. The easy way is just to take two meshes and just jam them on there. So that's what we did. Yeah, exactly. So for the specular, kind of like that. Yeah, I want... Ooh, how's that working? Kind of like that. Except we want it slightly more shiny. I think one of the problems is that we've got the direction coming at the wrong angle. They had it coming from basically like this. Yeah. But a little less intense. I had some more of this action going on. There we go. And adding more light kind of brings in some of the shortcomings of what we've done here. Also, these lights aren't supposed to cast shadows, apparently. So, how do we do that? Arnold does not cast shadows. Does not cast shadows. There we go. Plugin? No, this is just in the attribute editor. You can go down to the Arnold tab of any object you've got, and you can set some different visibility options or export options for Arnold. Okay, so one thing that I do want to do eventually, now that we've got this basically set up, is I do want to integrate this into the mesh somehow. And I am not looking forward to that. So I think the thing to do... Oh, I already deleted the history on this. Is to probably add in a new cone that has way less geometry on it. Or just take some out of this one. But we're going to try something different. I'm going to try something a little bit different. I'm going to do a Boolean union option on all of this in a new file, because it's a terrible idea to do it on your only file. And we're going to try something a little different today. So, first things first. I can always go back after this, so I'm just going to go for it. I'm going to make a duplicate of this one and a duplicate of this one. And I'm going to just combine these together using a Boolean operation. Cool. Great. And we'll take this, and we'll delete the history. We'll take this, and we'll do the same thing. Boolean union. All right. We're going to delete the history. This feels so wrong. This feels so wrong. Union. Delete the history. All right. All right. So if we were terrible people, we would stop there and live with all the artifacting going on and just have it, right? I just want to see what it looks like. Oh, you know what? I don't want the eyes attached, actually. Yeah. So that's going to make this a little bit more straightforward. So I want them to easily have their own shaders. So now when we take a look in the render port, smooth that, take a look at that. Actually doesn't look terrible. It looks like a big improvement over what we had before. I would leave it like that in a heartbeat. Fair enough. So we're gonna try some new tools. First things first, I just want to make sure that we have all this hidden away. All right, we'll turn off both these mesh networks. Can only do one at a time, so that's fun. There we go. Okay, so let's try this. We're gonna try it. Poly mesh, I think. Remesh, poly remesh. That's what it is. All right, so we'll head over to our poly remesh node here, and I'm just gonna let it go ham. About like that. Seems good. Is this all related to texturing? Is that why you don't leave it as it is? Yes, and also if you've got some poor connections like edge to edge, specifically around this ring of polys where it changes directions, if you don't have a good flow of edges, you end up with bad artifacting errors when you render. Like the light's gonna hit it and it's gonna think it's like a flat face when it's really meant to be a curved face or something like that. It'll bounce in unexpected ways, which is why we go in here and retopologize. So it's related to texturing, but it's also related to rendering and stuff like that. So it's a lot of things like that. Texturing is a big part of it, though. It just helps you get a really nice, uniform UV map to lay all your stuff out on. So we do poly retopo. Now it's going to calculate for a hot second, maybe more than a hot second. Don't break my machine. Don't be breaking my machine. Learning is important. Hell yeah. Okay, so maybe we refined the threshold a little too low. And we'll see what happens here. I know who you are. Well then. Maya, you're not really using that many resources to calculate. Did I? I think I did. I think I made an oopsie. Whoop. Whoop. Oh. Oh. Interesting. Huh. Alright, we're going to select this retopo node and delete it. And go back to our poly remesh and just maybe take a couple steps back in the Wayback Machine. Maybe something closer to this will work out a bit better for us. So poly retopo. That should be significantly faster. But it'd still take a couple seconds probably. So we ended up with some triangles, to say the least. Okay, and now we've got some like interesting going cattywampus sideways things going on. So I'm going to take a couple steps back here, and I'm going to do something that I heard about that will help, hopefully. Poly remesh. So I'm going to take some of these edges, and I'm going to make them basically symmetry lines. Specifically this one. And we're just going to select all the way up and over. And we're going to harden the edge. And with any luck, that will inform the tool that this is a symmetry line. No guarantees this is going to work. And if this doesn't give us satisfactory results, we will take a different approach after this. Okay, and I think I'm going to do it in the other axis as well. All right, let's harden that edge right now. Mesh display, harden edge. Okay. Okay, so that should be good to go now. I hope. Boom, boom. So we've got two like axes of symmetry for the remesh and retopo to handle. So we're going to delete the history just to make this as simple as possible. And we're on the second version. Yeah, so we're going to save that. Okay, let's try it again. Poly remesh. That seems like it was quite a bit faster. Am I just imagining things? Like, I know this one was pretty good, and it was the other one that took some time. But that one seemed pretty good. Let's go with that, and we'll see what happens. So that's at 0.4 again. Shouldn't be too bad. Here's hoping, guys. God. Oh. So with any luck, this is going to result in a nice, orderly quad flow. And if I wanted to push this further, I could have taken the diagonals and made those symmetry as well. Yeah, supposedly, and I've had some success with this, it helps enforce symmetry in an object. So if I wanted radial symmetry, I should have done all 4 lines across its symmetry. But we did not do that. Okay, so it's finished, but we're not super happy with how it turned out. So I'm going to take the face count and turn it down. Or we could just be crashing. Either way is fine. So, at the very least, it does look more orderly, instead of being this kind of slouching situation. We have a relatively normal geometry flow. Maya. This is all going so smoothly on my test pieces. Not on this object. I haven't ever tried this on this before. But, oh, wait a minute. It changed. So many calculations to perform. So maybe we'll go over to the remesh tab and less refinement. We'll see if we can just get a nice approximation. Yeah, so I think just to go into that a little bit more, my understanding of the way that this algorithm works is that it tries to intelligently create edge flow based on where it detects changes in poly direction. So by creasing an edge, by hardening an edge, I think that's like a way to tell it that this is meant to be a like what it would consider to be an edge, and to make all the polygons try to follow that. Okay, so let's go to like a 0.8 and try that. Yeah, we're still going with this. So now it has to recalculate the poly remesh, and then that propagates down to the retopo, which looks substantially closer to what I was imagining it should. So we'll go to 0.6 and see what that looks like. Now, for both the X and Y symmetry pulls that we put in, things are looking pretty good. But we do have some strange things happening at the balls, and we have some strange things happening at the diagonals. Man, it's doing the triangulation thing again. That's a problem. Maybe we'll go to cubic. We'll see what that does. Cubic for hard modeling is not so great because it tends to inflate things. So hybrid is better in that situation. And linear can reduce some artifacting you see in general, but typically hybrid is what you want to use. So that's at 0.6. 0.6 with a cubic interpolation. It's looking pretty bad. I'm not gonna lie. Okay. Okay. So here's what I'm thinking. I'm gonna go back to the first version, and we're gonna do everything the same way, except for adding the balls. I think the balls are gonna just have to be their own thing until I go in and manually connect them up. I think they're messing with the edge flow just a little too much. So let's do that now. Yeah, don't save. Okay, so everything is still disconnected. We'll duplicate both of these and then Boolean those. And then we'll just go for it, I guess. Delete the history. We'll put this as like 2B. Or not 2B. There we go. And it's probably going to have some issues here, but that's the price we pay. All right, I'm just going to put into isolation mode, and I'm going to do what I said before and get all 8 axes of symmetry going by creasing all their edges. Which will take some time. I think maybe I can speed this up a little bit by just doing the front face instead of like going all over the place. Okay, there that goes. Okay. You guys working on anything tonight? Or is this a free night for you? It's looking pretty good. Oh, thank God. I wasn't sure that I could just double click it, but luckily we can. Yes. Should have tried that like 10 minutes ago. It saved a lot of time. Alright, we got all 8 sides of symmetry taken care of. We're just double checking that fact. Okay. Nope. Nope, we do not. Okay, good thing we checked. Alright, that's looking good. So, harden the edges. And then I am going to put in a little bit more geometry. If it's convenient, it's not convenient. Oh, God. Let's do it. Let's just do it. It's going to make this work much better. Come on. There we go, and there we go. Maybe we'll have to, if this doesn't work well, maybe have, oh, that's a good point. That will be something worth trying. So we may do what Death's Door is talking about, which is to delete this in half and then remesh it. Calculate for half the mesh to enforce certain symmetries. All right. Yeah, that doesn't go around the entire thing, but at least it goes a decent distance. Okay, I'll harden that edge. That should be enough information for it to get going. Whew. All right, save and then just do it, huh? Poly remesh. Cool. All right, poly remesh. I like 0.6-ish. Seems like if it's got too much geometry to work with, it does like a worse job. So let's go with something like that. Retopo. Actually has a loading bar this time. I feel like that's an improvement. Come on. God. Okay. So, not the best. Let's try some much lower poly count. We'll see what that looks like. Might even go as low as like 500. We'll see. I wanted... Oh. Doesn't look like it's actually updating anything. Oh. Interesting. I still have the other ones alive, don't I? That's right. So my only goal is to get rid of these, like, triangle issues, right? But 200? I feel like that's going to basically destroy the mesh. I'm not quite sure what's, like, where in this situation it's getting mucked up at. So we'll give it a little more information to work with on the poly remesh side of things. That's either going to make it better or worse. Can't be the same, I imagine. Boom. Ooh. Oh, God. All right. So there's our masterpiece. I think the retopo has enough information to work now. So let's put this back up to like 800 and see what happens. Hey, Linksa! How you doing? We're currently battling with Maya to figure out what's going on. How you doing tonight? It's a bit better. Let's go up to 2000. See what happens. So I am noticing that we're starting to get this like diving star pattern thing going on. It's getting to the point where it's definitely going to be better just to do it by hand. So this is very much a technical exercise to see what we can get away with more than anything else. That was 2000? Was that 2000? That can't be 2000. Nothing changed. I'm pretty good. Maya's being a bit of a difficult babysitter tonight, so that's fun, but otherwise pretty good. Got some fun things planned for you guys. End of next week, so stay tuned for more. Okay, well, it's starting to look better, but we've got some real janky things happening, so I think I'm going to assume and make my recommendation that this is not optimal for semi-organic things like this, or like complicated buttressing shapes and stuff like that. So I'm gonna play around more with how to get hard edges set up and what they can do to influence this algorithm. Until then, this thing is not working for this particular kind of shape. Phooey. Oh well. Yeah, so I guess we'll just go back to this one. Okay, so one thing we could do is, before we move on, just add one more inner edge loop here to make our life much easier later on down the road. But yeah, we're making a shine sprite. It's been going pretty well. So this is what it looks like with an Arnold render since you just came in. We're using some toon shading. So that's what we're working on right now. I wonder if I can make the Sky Dome background color kind of yellowy. Yeah. It's like coming through on the capture too. Kind of weird audio. There we go. Let's get rid of some of that muddiness. That way down at the bottom. Woo! Anyway, yeah, so this is going to be part of the overlay in the future. I'm going to try and render it out with some PNGs, and that way we can just have it spinning around or shining or whatever we want for the Sunshine playthroughs. So, pretty excited about that. All right. It's really coming together nicely. It's very tempting to just leave it at this point and let it be its own thing. Especially because we don't have the geometry lining up the way it should be. So I think for tonight, that's where we're going to leave it. Is there anything we're missing? Looking at the reference, I feel like this is pretty much it. And I'm just going to combine them together. And we'll call this the Lazy Shine Sprite mesh. Very cool. I'm going to turn these mesh networks off. And then we can export just this mesh into, I guess, the next phase, which is where we just animate it rotating, get an endless loop, and go from there. So this is going to get the existing AI Toon 2. Yeah, good. Oh, yep, about that. Okay. So let's get these eyes combined in there too. We're not going to Boolean them, we're just going to combine them, but that should be good enough. Did they retain their AI Tune 2 status? Looks like they did. Yeah, it's looking pretty good. So now that the whole object... Oh, that was silly. There we go. All right, cool. So let's export this into another file for animating. Shine Sprite. Animal 1. Perfect. Let's open that up. Probably should have sent along the lights with them, now that I think about it. That's okay. Actually, we'll control that with a group. Yeah, that'll work out better. That looks pretty good to me. I don't hide it, but yeah. So I do want a ramp for this as well, right? I think down here, I want it to basically be a sandy brown, but a fairly bright sandy brown. Not muddy, but just like that. We'll let that come up to about there, and we'll clamp that a bit closer like that. That'll be good. All right, so this is going to be the beginning of the seafoam green kind of situation. Yep. This will be the really vibrant blue. Bit like that, but maybe a little less saturated. Perfect. Okay. And then up here, we'll just get the bright white. That'd be fantastic. So when we're looking like this, I want it to be out there. Maybe like that. Happy, happy colors. All right. So the sky dome is too bright, but we will up the samples to about 3. And we'll turn down the exposure quite a bit. We'll just turn it down a little bit, actually. Like -1. Yeah, that seems good. My problem is that makes the background kind of dull. I don't know a good way to just like multiply that effect. So that's kind of a bummer. But at the same time, we're going to render it without a background anyway, so it'll look more like this. Yeah. All right. So let's set up our camera real quick. Create cameras. There. Okay, we'll set its position like that. Then we'll group it. We'll center the group because I never seem to remember to do that first. And I guess we're going to get a straight-on view of it. So that makes things easy. Head down to PNG. Int 8 is fine. Perspective, we want camera 1. And let's go for a 1080p. Fair. Alright, get that a bit more in focus here. We really don't need the full 1080 render, so I'm very tempted to get a different aspect ratio. You know what I mean? Like 1080 by 1080. Let's do that. Let's do that. Okay, 1080 by 1080. Perfect, because this is just meant to be either like a social media thing or a layout situation, in which case we don't need all the extraneous stuff that goes with that. Cool. And we'll just go like that. Also saves us some render time. Yes, I'll admit that. Saves us like almost 900 pixels worth of rendering. Okay, so now we've got that all set up. Group 1 is the light. P sphere up here should be renamed. Okay, so this is the shine sprite mesh. I'm gonna group it, name it shine sprite group. Perfect. There. What time we at here? Oh, crikey. This is a bit of a test run for another thing, the thing I was talking about from before. I'm definitely going to have to adjust some timelines on that. That's not quite happening for me. There. So let's use that. I am going to hit those eyes just tangent to the inner ring, and that should keep them relatively symmetrical. That should help a lot. Okay. So I guess at this point, we just need it to spin, right? Are the eyes casting shadows again, or is my imagination? One of them is. One of them is. I don't know. Why would one? Okay. And the rest of it should cast shadows, right? Like, there's a really high chance that, yeah. Hmm. All right, we're extracting those eyes. I was hoping to keep them together, but it's just not going to happen. Extract the faces. All right. So inside here, we're going to just grab all 3 of these guys, bring them out, delete their history, regroup them. Group. Perfect. All right, so now we can have these 2 not casting any shadows. Oh, you guys are going to love this. I did this on a different stream. I don't remember when, but I just learned one of the more interesting things I've ever been told about, which is in general editors, you can go and do the spreadsheet attribute, the attribute spreadsheet, I mean. Now for 2 eyes, it's not that big a deal, right? But if you go and do like a bunch of lights in a scene, or like I was doing a bunch of, I was using it during a rigging section, and I had a bunch of bones that I wanted to be resetting all the time, and this made that so much easier. So if we go and we look for cast shadow, so let's go for shadow, or cast shadow. Great. Arnold, what do you call it? AI, export normals, opaque, matte, diffuse, specular, invisible shadow, self shadows, off, geometry? I'm confused. That should be under Arnold and then visibility. So you'd think it would be AI visible self shadows. Let's turn that off. That did not update the attribute I thought was going to be doing it. So that's cool. Jeez. Okay. How about just Arnold? Nope. AI. Can I get some help here? How? Create new expression. Attribute is just cast shadows, right? Dot cast shadows. You're telling me the spreadsheet can't see inside Arnold's black box here? Is that what you're telling me? Because that's a real problem, I would say. Yeah? All right. Oh. So it's AI cast volumetric shadows. AI cat. AI. Oh, I see. AI cast. Ooh, Maya. Okay. It does work, but it's a son of a bitch. AI cast shadows, AI cast volume shadows. No shadows! Alright. Anyway, so let's update. That left one's still casting shadows. Care to explain yourself, Maya? Really? Alright. When it comes to Arnold things, just give up. Just give up. And just do it by hand. I don't know what else to tell you. That's supremely disappointing. Thank you for letting me know that it was casting a shadow, but... oh boy. That's super disappointing. Anyway, now we can get a decent render, so... Yay! I kind of want to get the specular to be more, if you catch my drift. So I'm going to go into the hypershader. This is like a real chill shine sprite, and I want it to be crisp. Look at that. Why is that yellowing it up? Let's just go straight white. Sounds really strange to say. Oh, there we go. There we go. There we go. And then the anisotropy. It was pretty... That's looking better. That's definitely looking better. I'm not sure why these, like, other corners aren't quite catching it. So it's a little weird, but... There we go. That seems to be, like, pretty close to the ideal roughness right there. About like that. We could rotate it. Doesn't seem to do anything. Is there any room for anisotropy? No, not really. If we did turn it up and then we rotated it, we could get something like that. And that would probably be okay. It does highlight my non-uniform surface here, which is just the best. But for that reason alone, we're just not going to use it. But yeah. Yeah. All right, we're going to live with that. That's just going to be my interpretation of it. Here we go. Let's see here. That's too bad. All right. So now that we have everything in a group, we can just rotate that group together. Let's just double check that that is the case. Everything moves as it should, I think. Yeah, I think we're good to go. So let's do super bare bones easy animation. And that's just going to be taking this group and animating the rotation on it. So I want this to be about a second long spinning animation. I don't remember how long it takes in the game to go around. And we're going to be doing this at 24 frames per second, so we'll give ourselves 25 frames. And we'll just go into the channel box here. Get the rotate Y, set that to zoo. Boy. Thought we had the other thing selected. It's fine. And we do want translate Y. Rotate Y? Yeah, rotate Y. So, on frame 1, we are going to key the selected. And pretty much, we're just going to put 360 on the other one. And then key it. Go into our graph editor. Actually, even easier than that, we can just go into... It's not easier. It's not easier. All right, go into the graph editor. Sometimes with certain connections, you can just like right click and go into the properties of it, and you can do a matrix change, which is really a lot simpler than it sounds. Because all we're doing is just taking these guys and making them linear. So, yep, easy peasy. All right. So let's take that 25th frame off and see if it looks any better. Yeah, that's better. All right. So now we have to ask ourselves, do we want it to go for a second and a half, or do we want it to go for a second and maintain this kind of quick speed? I would argue for a slower speed. This is distractingly fast. So I think we're going to go to 36 frames. All you have to do is select this frame and then drag it over to 36, and you should be good to go. So we're getting that pause again, which tells me I should probably go to 35. Oh, don't tell me that was actually a... Go to 35 and let it... Yeah. Okay. So, the frame before it reaches the 360th degree of rotation, if you take that frame off and set it to 0, it looks about the same, which is super handy. Yay! I think we could go even slower though. So let's go to 48. We'll take this guy, set him to the 48th frame, and then take it back one frame. I think that's going to be a better, like, UI element kind of situation. I'm kind of curious. Okay, so I'm going to try something a little crazy. We're going to go to 56. Put it up to 56. Go one frame back. And in the graph editor for animation, I'm not going to have it be linear anymore. We're going to take these and put them to auto. And I just want to see what that looks like real quick. No, not quite. Okay. So that means I'm going to have to put a keyframe in the middle of this. So when its back is facing us, I want it to hang out for a hot second. So right about 29, we're at 56, so what's that, 20, 25 would be 50. We're at 56, so that would be 28-ish. We're gonna roll with it and place a keyframe here. And then we're just gonna take these handles and give it a little pause. We could do that, but that looks kind of shitty. So let's just split the difference. on both of these. All right, grab this, grab this, grab this, grab that. And then we're just going to split the difference between the two of them, and we'll see what that looks like. Okay. And we'll grab this handle here, and we'll go just a little less even. So my goal here is to make the turning fast and then kind of hang out on each of the faces. That's essentially what I'm attempting to do with this. And each of these handles is not quite as extreme as this one's handle. So now we're a bit more in sync, and we can do something like that. I like that. I think that's going to be good. Yeah, what do you guys think? I'll let that spin for a little while. Anything you'd want to change? Oh. I think. The lighting. All right. Let's take a look at Arnold. So this is what it would look like in Arnold, right? At a really kind of shitty resolution, right? So let's go test resolution 50%, so maybe it'll update a little faster. All right. Without the dome? Well, as in without any sky dome whatsoever? Sure. But we have to stop Arnold first. We know how picky Arnold is. And then we can do that. It crashed anyway. The answer Maya's trying to tell me is that no, you cannot see it without the dome. But we're going to persist. We're going to persist. God. Do, 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 do. Okay. So before I even open Arnold, we're just going to turn that off right away. Open render view. I want camera shape 1. Okay. So that is without any skydome lighting. And we can intensify it because we were only doing Arnold stuff before on the skydome, so we can add some more exposure to this. Now this is far more dramatic of a shine sprite than I'm thinking I want. But we could do like a couple like a studio setup instead. We could even go so far as to do an HDRI map of a sunny beach day. Kind of interested in that. Sorry. Friend. All right. Oh, Maya is chugging a little bit. So let's do some studio lighting. Let's add some extra bits in here. So I'm just going to use a bunch of directional lights to do this. And we'll make a couple that are physically smaller, so we don't have to think which one is which, right? So get one from the side here, and we'll make that one's color bluish. No, we'll keep it white. We'll keep it white. And the exposure, put like a half. And then maybe a straight top-down one would be good. And we'll just have that one. Kind of like that, and maybe just a little offset, so it's like closer to high noon, but not actually proper high noon. And we'll just leave it like that. Over to render view. All right, so we got some competing shadows going on now, but generally speaking, this is what we end up with. So let's see. Cool. Okay. So yeah, is this what we go with? It seems sort of plasticky now after doing all that work with the specularity. I like what's happening with the rim lighting around the edge here, though. I do enjoy like the sparkling nature of it. That's pretty cool. That's fun. Okay, so I want to try with the lights having different colors. So I want that one to be, let's use color temperatures. That's gonna make this pretty simple. I want that one to be fairly neutral. I want the high noon one to be a little bit brighter blue because it has less influence. And I want the one that's pointing kind of like that to be fairly warm. So something in the 5,000 range. I don't feel like much changed. Let's go for number 2. Let's just look at what the exposure does. All right, so right there, the warming light. Ah, there it is. Okay. I think I want mostly like really, really bright lights, like at 7,000 minimum. So that's good to know. That's good to know. Let's go higher. Yeah, just around 7,000. And we can give it kind of a rim lighting thing. Just a little bit of warmth in all the little areas. All right. So let's look at it here. We'll do a full resolution. Oh, you know what I haven't done yet? I haven't UV mapped anything, so it's getting some weird little creases going on. So let's do that real quick. Bring it back here. Save just in case everything goes wrong. And I'm just gonna do, yeah, because that's the UV map right now. It's nothing really to write home about. I think that's gonna work out pretty well for us. Let's check out Arnold again and see if that update helps things. Nope, still got that crease right there, doesn't it? Dang it. I think that's an artifact from when I tried to pull these faces out, and it wasn't like a perfectly linear selection. And I just ended up with some little lumpage going on. So, something we're just going to have to live with. All right. I think we might call it there. What do you guys think? I feel like we're pretty much there. Maybe like a little more light, just to really dominate the scene a little bit. Exposure. No, because then it blows out all the shadows. Could do a little less light. That'd be something. Yeah, that's working better for me. Yeah. Let's get some more samples on all these lights. Boo, boo, boo. All right, checklist. The balls on top look fairly correct. It would have been nice to integrate them a bit better, but whatever. The arms, similar story, but this is going to be a fairly small icon, I think. So it's fine for now. The eyes look about right. They're a little squashed, maybe. So maybe if we... Whoop. I just want the modify, center pivot. Too thin. Too big in general. Scoosh that on down. That's pretty close. Nope. Okay. So we could even rotate these back in so they follow the face of it a little better and have them like that. Is that working? Yeah, all right. 10 seconds to render one image. That's not bad. Okay. All right. Let's do one test render just to see how everything's going. So we got 1080 by 1080, 720 pixels, perfect. All that looks good. PNG, we don't have a background up, so save, right? And we'll go to the rendering section. We'll see what's going on, and we'll try to do a render. We're just gonna render sequence, and in the just because I want to see like a practical situation sort of thing. Number setting, set that to 1 as well. That's good, and we'll do a render sequence. Okay, in here I want to do new folder, shine sprite, select, and render sequence and close. Get ourselves this guy here, and I think we're going to open it in Photoshop just to see if we actually have a transparent background, because Windows is not super great at showcasing when something is like actually whether or not it's actually transparent, so it just goes black or not. All right, so that should be in there. Come on, shine sprite. All right, head over to Photoshop, bring this in here. All right, so that is rendering as a black background. It's not what we want. Okay. Now I know there is a way to do this, and I just don't remember what I have to set up. Oh, alpha channel. We've got the alpha channel set up. Well, we could try TIFF. Not opposed to that. Render options. Yeah. Okay. So we don't need the Z depth. I would like the channel mask, but let's try TIFF. Compression, tiled, output, dither, skip alpha. No, we want alpha. Okay. Let's give it a shot. Render sequence. Okay. Mrs. Photoshop. Yeah, it seems to have done a better job. Boom, 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 boom. Okay, I guess it's TIFF it is. Wow. Good call. Good call. Alright, so for camera 1, I want this to be centered. I don't quite know a good way to do that. Did I not set up another camera? Oh, here it is. Okay. What about the camera? Ah. Yeah. Perspective, please. There we go. Okay, then the group is off doing its own thing, so we'll center the pivot. Perfect. Let's get a 2-up view so I can quickly do things. It's weird that it's off to the left at all. It should be, well, it should be pretty much smack dab in the center, but it's really not. Oh. Okay, so I just want poly surface 3. I want that to be modify center pivot. Okay. And these two can just come along for the ride. And we'll do the same thing here, center the pivot. We'll just go like that. Okay, well, we'll just do it visually then. That's super cool. Super, super cool. Bring it down. Seems like these should line up more easily. But here we are. Splitting hairs. Cool. It's looking pretty good. We'll go with that. All right, one more time here. Render sequence. Oh. Really? Camera 1, good. I guess I just need to be in this panel when I do it. Getting like the automated render programs to actually do what you expect is almost impossible, as far as I'm concerned. I just want to render from camera 1. I've told you so here, and yet you persist. You persist with this. It's still not working. What? All right, render sequence settings. Oh, that's why. I have to send it there. Oops. Okay, that was totally my fault. Maya had no hand in that. All right. Open up Photoshop. Take a look at our handiwork. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Okay. All right. Just minimize that. I guess we'll just set it to be 55 seconds. Or 55 frames, I should say. All right. I'm just gonna do this on stream. Shouldn't be too bad. Render sequence. And then I'll get to see the progress in here. It does take a little longer to process the TIFF image portion of it. So that part's not super great, but... Ooh. Alright. So that seems to be messing with the audio a little bit, though. Boom, 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 boom. Alright. So while we're waiting for this to go through, do its thing, you guys have any tips for me or questions for me? Any update? Any good stuff happening? Nope. Okay. Fair enough. Fair enough. All right. So I do want to give a little teaser. I'm not going to say too many details, but I'm going to have one of my good friends. We're going to do a little competition on Friday next weekend. Let's say next weekend. Tentatively for Friday. And we're going to do like 3 stages. We're going to do some modeling. We're going to do some texturing. We're going to do some rendering. And that should all happen over the course of 3 to 4 hours. We're working on details still. But watch out for that. It's going to be a really fun event. We're going to try and do a multicast. We'll see if that works. Signing myself up for a lot of stuff here. I just hope it all works. We will have something, and it will be fun. So I'm really excited. I hope you guys come out for that. So, yee! It's a little early to be going into that stuff. But I can't help it. I'm so excited. It's going to be real fun. I don't think we're giving ourselves enough time. So it might end up being 4 hours. But that's part of why I did this today. I kind of want to do this with the overlay and to gauge how long it takes me to do this. It took me a lot longer than I thought it was going to take. So that's cool. But I was also being really careful and really meticulous with different procedures and ways to do things. And I wanted to get the lighting just so. And this is much more going to be like a scrapyard war kind of situation where you're like just getting things together to have like kind of a hodgepodge, put what you can together in like X amount of time. And then we're going to send out to everyone else, try and get you guys to give us like, vote on who's your best, who is the best at this one. And if it works out, if we get like a good response and you guys enjoy it, I might try to do more. That'd be fun. So, yeah. It's going to be fun. So, next week, the end of next week, tune in. It's going to be good. And I'll have a video on YouTube and a bunch of social media stuff, so you don't have to remember it. But just be watching. Just be watching. It's going to be a fun time. All right, frame 27. See if we can have windows like slideshow through. Yeah. Oh, that's the one I want. Oop. We can go a little bigger than that. Ah! Windows can't keep up with it. Oh my god. Alright, this is good. You guys can tell, but we have some pinching back here. Oh, that's really disappointing. Is it? Can you see it on the front? Oh boy. Yeah, a little bit. Oh gosh. Yeah, right in the center there. Oh, he's got like a weird wrinkle nose. Oh. Well, that's terrible. I can't unsee it now. I'm just gonna have to do a better job next time modeling these things. That's okay. Okay, so I will finish this off stream, and I'll put up probably on like Twitter or something like that, just at Bombbeard, the little PNG sequence of it turning around, just so we can all enjoy in the splendor of this little shine sprite. So I think that's going to be it for tonight. Thanks for hanging out, everybody. And yeah, remember, next week, be there. It's going to be good. I think that's about all I've got. So, good night. You made it to the after stream wrap up. Bravo. Join me in welcoming our new shiny boy. He'll be our compatriot as we move along on our sunshine journey. So I hope you enjoy his spinning, shiny body. I know I will. I'll see you guys next time. Thank you very much. Bye.